Hi everyone, welcome back. This week I'm going to be showing you how to knit some pumpkins. We're going to be using size 9 needles and a set of white yarn donated to us by some wonderful patrons. So first you want to make sure you have about two 12-inch links or 24 total inches of yarn. That way, whenever you're done with your pumpkin, you can sew it up. So you want to have plenty of leftover yarn before you cast on. So here, I'm going to show you how to make a simple slip knot. Just want to cross one of the pieces of yarn over the other, and then pull yarn through and slide it down. Show you again, yarn crossed over, pull the yarn up through it, slide it down. This is called a simple slip knot. So you do a slip knot first, insert one of your knitting needles. You want to make sure your tail is in your left hand. If you're right-handed, you're going to go around your thumb, hold on to the loop on your knitting needle first, put the needle, so around your thumb, needle through the bottom. Then you're going to slide that piece of yarn over, and that will make a loop. So I'm going to show you again. Over the thumb, needle underneath, thread through the middle, over the top. And you're going to repeat this until you have 20 total cast on to your knitting needle. So over, around, under, through, and over. Just going to repeat this for quite some time until you have 20 loops on your needle. Okay, once you have 20 loops on, so we're almost there, and you'll want to make sure you count pretty frequently. We have 20 loops on. Now we're going to start actually knitting, so you're going to put your needle through the front, into the back, so that you have a loop of yarn on your knitting needles. Going to go around, and then pull it up and through and push the string off on the end. So through like that. That's what the yarn will look like on your back. You're going to wrap it around, push it through, and then off. So I'm going to show you a couple more times. Through the front, around the back, through and off. And there are plenty of YouTube tutorials that will show you how to knit. We're just going to be doing a basic knit stitch. So if you need more help, I recommend just looking up knit stitch, beginner's knitting, anything like that on YouTube, and that will kind of help you along. And they can give some better visuals from some different angles that I'm unable to get from just this hands down view. So you're going to just continue to do this all the way across until you get to the very end. So to the front, over and slide off, and you'll just continue like this until you get to the end. Okay, so you're going to start on your second row here. So it'll just be like the first, go through the front, around, and back and slip. So I sped it up here just for the sake of the video is length, but you'll just be doing the same thing over and over again. When you get done doing across each row, you'll just want to count and make sure that you still have 20 stitches, that you didn't drop any anywhere, didn't pick up any extra ones as well. If you do drop or pick them up, you can always look up more YouTube videos. I will show a couple examples if you drop them, but this is what it'll look like when you get 2 rows on there. Alright, and then you just flip it over and you'll continue to do the same. So if you accidentally get your thread wound up or put in the wrong place, here I've put it in the wrong place. I put it through there instead of through the back. That's okay, just pull your needle out if something looks weird. You can just try again. So here I forgot to pick up a stitch. I skipped right over top of it. I didn't knit it. So if that happens, all you have to do is you can see that there's a little bar of thread going on top. You just gently pull it. You pick up the stitch that you just knit, put it back on. Then you can pick this stitch up and slide it onto your needles, or you can pick it up with your finger and slide it over onto your needles. And then nothing ventured, nothing gained. So you can just start over. It's not a big deal if something falls off or slips off. As long as you're not pulling really tightly, you should be able to just pick them up and put them back on the needles. Right, then you'll just continue to knit here, and everything is fine. And you'll just continue to knit. So you'll see, I'm showing you that there are little nubs, and that's how you know that you've already knit, is that there's a new little nub when you pull off. So you'll just keep doing that until the end of the row. So if you do happen to drop a stitch off your needle, it's okay. You can just pick it up, pull it back, put it on there, and keep going. Alright, then you will say you have dropped off a whole stitch. You need to get back to where you can put on the needle. You just pull the thread through the middle and keep going, just like you did before. Okay, and then this, I'm going to show you what to happen if you drop an entire stitch off and you can't get to it before it gets pulled. So you'll see you have this little bar of yarn. You can see the last stitch where it fell through. You can just slip that bar of yarn through the middle, pull it up, turn it sideways, and then stitch. This is going to leave a little bit of a weird bump, but for this project you won't even notice it. So then you just continue to the end. Alright. So counting again to make sure I still have 20 after I fix that little bump. Alright, and at this point we have 5 stitches on here, so I will cut the video and we'll come back, we'll have 20. So right here we now have 20 stitches. I'm just showing you what it looks like. It'll be going long lengthwise, so we'll be having to stitch quite a few. This is the little bump from where we fixed, but you can't even tell. So when we come back next time, we'll have 40 stitches. Alright, this is 40 stitches on our needle. So it stretches quite a bit. Whenever, just kind of showing you how to visualize what it'll look like whenever this is stitch up. So that's about half the length. So, alright, now we're back. We have 60 stitches on our needles. So I'm going to show you how to bind it off. You're going to knit and knit. Then you're going to take the second stitch on your needles, pull it up over the first, and drop it off. So knit, pull the second one over the first. You can hold on to that long tail to keep it from sliding off. And you'll just continue to do this until you have pulled all the stitches off. Alright, so we get into the last couple of stitches. I'll just continue. Alright, the last one off your left needle. Pull it over. So you're left with one stitch on your needle. You will just pull this until you get a long enough tail. So you'll just pull it until you get it tight on the end. So it'll look like this along the edge. So you have your two long tails. You don't need the knitting needles anymore. You're going to get your pipe cleaner. First off, you can have if you have darning needles at home, a darning needle will work just as good, if not better, than what we're going to do. Since I know everybody doesn't have darning needles, I've given you a pipe cleaner. This serves as a stem, but in this case it also serves as your darning needle. So you'll choose one of your long tails on the end. You're going to bend your needle in half, twist it close at the bottom to keep your yarn from going out. You'll pull your yarn through down at the bottom, and you'll use the end that doesn't have the two pokey wires sticking out as the front of your needle. So you're basically going to go in and out of one side to get your stitch, but you're going to go down through the holes on one side and then through the holes on the other side and this is going to start to secure your two sides together. So you're going to go through, this is called a whip stitch, so you're just going to be securing both sides to each other, and you're going to continue to do this all the way across. Okay, once you get to the end, you will do a last little securing stitch here. Then you're going to go inside of the tube you just made and put some stitches through a couple of places, and this is just to hold your yarn in place so it has somewhere to be secured, that way you don't have any little flying tails stuck down inside. Make a couple more stitches, and then I'm going to do one more where I'm going to go through some stitches and then pull my string through this loop to secure, and it just makes a tiny knot right there. So I'm going to pull it tight, and then I'm going to trim that off on the inside. Alright, so you have this nice little tube of all of your stitches together. You're going to pull the yarn out of the middle of your pipe cleaner. And then you're going to do the same thing with that second long tail. You're going to put it down there, and you're going to just squeeze it together to make a nice little point. So here you're going to go in and out of your stitches. This is just a normal regular stitch. This could be called a gathering stitch because that's what you're going to do once you go in and out of all these little holes around the top. And it doesn't have to be every single hole, every other hole, just as long as they are close enough together, because what this is going to do is help you cinch together the top of your pumpkin. So you're just going to keep going in and out and in and out all the way around. Okay, and once you get to this point, you're going to pull your string tight to start to gather your stitches, like so. This is going to cinch them all together to close up that little opening. And you see there's a little hole still left in there. You're going to take your pipe cleaner, and so you're going to find a place where you've already stitched and just pull your pipe cleaner across. So first you're going to cinch it as closed, then you're going to pull it tight, and this is just going to keep that hole closed so that none of your filling comes out. You're going to push your needle through any little opening you can get it through and up into the top, and this creates like a little cup almost. At this point, you're going to pull your thread kind of to the side, from the middle towards the side, and then you're going to get out your stuffing. And you can use all of your stuffing. You can use most of your stuffing. You don't have to use it all. You just kind of want to separate it when you pull it out because it's been kind of smushed down in the bag. So you can grab a handful, push some of it in, grab another handful, push some of it in, kind of fluffing it as you go. At this point, you can kind of check to make sure none of it is poking out. And so you could leave it like this. You can have a pumpkin that is not super stuffed, one that is kind of a little bit smaller. Or you can go ahead and use all of your fluff in there and have a very kind of firm pumpkin. So I'm going to push that all down in there, kind of pulling my string to the side where I want to start kind of shaping it to try and see what it will look like. And yeah, so you're going to choose where you want to start weaving in and out. Just as you did on the first part, you're going to do the exact same thing on the bottom. Okay, so you'll continue to weave your thread back and forth, in and out, until you get to where you started. Okay, and then you can cinch your pumpkin closed, kind of pulling it and squishing it to kind of adjust the shape. And then you're just gonna repeat what you did on the other side, where you make a little dent to try and find a place to pull your thread across so you can cinch it shut. And you'll just pull really tight to make sure that that hole is kind of sealed up, and then weave your thread in again to kind of bind it off. I'm just shaping it here, kind of moving the polyfill around, and then I'm just going to pull the string through the side, pull it kind of tight, snip it off to hide the end thread. And then you'll just pull your string out, bend your pipe cleaner in half to form the stem, kind of give it a little twist, and then you can just push it down into that hole or any kind of place you can find, and there's your pumpkin. And next I will show you how to do the crochet version. Alright, welcome back. We're going to go over how to make the crochet pumpkin now. So first you're going to start off making a slip knot. I'm just going to demonstrate that there. You're going to fold over and then pull through. So fold over your yarn and then pull the excess yarn up through the middle, and that will make your slip knot. Then you're going to insert your crochet hook. We're using size H, and then we're going to turn the needle, grab the yarn, and pull it through that first loop. Grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through. So you're going to continue that until you have 18 little loops. This is called a chain. So if you get stuck and you need help, you can look this up by beginner's crochet chaining. So we're just going to count up how many are on our chain until we get up to 18. So now I'm going to show you how to do the second part after we add these last couple of. So you want to do 18 and then add an extra one. And this is just so whenever you go to do your single chain, which is what I'm about to show you, you'll have actually 18 in your row. So you're not going to push into the first loop, but you're going to push into the second loop. Then you're going to grab your yarn and pull through the first one and leave it, then grab it and pull through both of them. So you're going to go into the next loop, pull through one, and then pull through both of them. Then the next one, and then you'll just repeat this all the way across on every single chain, and it will make this double pattern. So next chain, pull through, and then you'll just continue that all the way across. So yeah, it'll make that nice double chain pattern. And you'll just continue to pull through. Okay, so you'll just go into the next stitch, and then that last stitch, and then you'll stitch one more on here. We're counting across to make sure that we have 18. So if 18, you're going to add one more stitch for 19. And the reason you do that is because if you only leave 18 and then you fold that over, you'll now have 17 stitches. So you'll always want to make sure you add an extra stitch right there on the end, so that you'll always end up with 18 stitches. Alright, so we'll just continue what we did in the previous row. Going in one, pulling through one, and then pulling through two, all the way across until we get to the end. Alright, so we have 5 rows of 18 right here. So when we come back, we'll have 10 rows done, just so you can see what that looks like. So that's 5. This is 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this was what it will look like at 10. Just to show you kind of what the shape of it is, how the ribs look, what it looks like whenever it's folded in half. So some stretchiness both ways, and we're gonna have the rows going vertical whenever this whole piece is finished. So I'm just showing you that bumpy edge. You won't really see it when everything is done. So we're counting across again, 18, 19. So this is what it looks like with 15 rows done. And basically it'll be double this length. I think this is actually 16 rows, because the final piece will be 32 rows. So, just showing you, we're about halfway there. So, alright, and this is it with all 32 rows done. So this is what it'll look like when you're done doing the whole piece. You'll just pull the string through. Want to leave about 24 inches on your tail, just so you have more than enough room. Sorry, I went to get the scissors. Have more than enough of your tail left to sew everything up. So I'm just going to pull this through here. Once you pull it all the way through, it is nice and tight. Then you'll have your second long tail. So I'm showing you, that's it, the full 32 rows. For the rest of the tutorial, if you will skip back to about the 16-minute mark, I'll show you how to do the exact same thing, but I did it on the knitted pumpkin, but it's the exact same steps. You can use the darning needle or the process I showed you in the video. And this is what your final crochet pumpkin will look like. So here I'm just giving the pipe cleaner twist, and I talk about this in the knitting one as well. But so, thank you so much for joining me. I know this was a long video. Thanks for sticking it out, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.